Yes, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the Sports Spotlight. I'm your host Rizwan, bringing to you all things sports every Sunday from 10 a.m. until noon, halfway through, halfway left. And joining me back on the air is my good buddy and a wonderful soccer and other sports mind, Manny from Kansas City. Manny, welcome back, man. All right, here we go. I think I've got you on the air now. You there?
Yes, I'm
All
here.
right. Okay. So this is what it has led to. We touched on right before the break. We touched on the Spanish demolition of the French in the semifinal game. Anything that stood out to you from that we didn't discuss before? Just Spain just shutting down that French attack, just locking them down and not letting them do anything at all, right?
Yeah, I mean they've been like that the whole tournament. Like you mentioned, just one goal in all the games they played for a month. I mean it's unreal. That has to be some sort of record.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to be very very tough to score on, and they have a tremendous attack themselves. I mean their counter attacking is phenomenal. The front three that they have passing between them is stellar. So yes, France had no chance based on how Spain has been playing, and we're gonna need some of that Messi magic and that FIFA help to get Argentina past this one. So I'm hoping Spain comes through.
All right. This is what happens when there's even a. I'm I'm not gonna say. Well, actually, yes. Never mind. I am gonna say there has been unfair play. I think there has been. There's been enough throughout this World Cup where
Oh yeah,
you can say there has been unfair play. Um,
I think so.
but even when there's not, and you just give the impression, what it does is to most of the fans, it turns them the other way, right? But when there's obvious, overt unfair play, then absolutely, I think
I think so.
I don't know if there's going to be anybody who is a soccer fan but not a Messi or an Argentina fan who's going to be pulling for Argentina today. I think there's not going to be a casual fan just sitting there saying, "I just want a good game and see who wins." I think you're
Right.
either a fan of Messi and or Argentina and pulling for them, or you're pulling for Spain at this point, which is a shame.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a shame that that's what FIFA has allowed to happen. But it everything um that stinks of this type of stuff generally generally is due to the leadership, and we all know the leadership at FIFA needs to be swapped out, needs to be replaced, because that is rotten at the top.
Oh yeah.
He has shown time and again an inability to actually be a proper, dispassionate leader for the whole organization and the whole world of soccer fandom. Anyway, so let's get to the other side. Let's get to Argentina and England and what happened there. It looked like it was a defensive struggle that England was going to be able to that they had it. They had it on lockdown. They led it most of the way, and then Messi Messi magic slash Vargentina happened. Can you tell me what you saw? Was this actually just Messi and Argentina making a great comeback?
Yeah.
What was it? They scored twice after the 85th minute, I think.
I I think it's definitely they are the team that never quit. Right? They've come back so many times in the last, especially in the last 5 minutes, to score twice, for example, in that our Egypt game. I think personally, I think what happened a little bit, and I saw some of this on some of the analysis, is that the when the England team went up, I think it was 2 goals. they kind of just like started to play like a prevent defense almost. You know, they had a great outcome when they were up against Mexico. Remember, for like 45 minutes, Mexico kept doing corners and headers, and England had all their defense, like the wall of England, around the goal. So they have an amazing defensive play, and they figured that they could just kind of, now that they're up, just keep Argentina out. But that's when you're not playing like you should be. You should keep your flow. Yes, it's certainly true when you're up by a couple goals, you want to change your strategy a little bit and be more defensive, but don't just completely shut down attacking and just focus only on defending, because you're not playing your true game. And I think that was part of the flaw that the British coach had. They kind of just felt, okay, we've got 2 goals up, we can afford to just play defense, and that took them out of their rhythm. I firmly believe. And then yes, they did have Messi. Whether you like him or not, you can't deny the fact he is an amazing player, and he has that flair right around the box. You know, he's not undecisive. Like, he knows where he's going once he gets the ball. And so yeah, I think that's what happened there. Kind of a mistake on the coaching staff for England to just kind of sit back and defend only instead of continue to try to get more goals. And then never say die on the Argentinian side. They play till the final whistle. So Spain better be ready to go all the way, till that final whistle.
Play until that 98th minute, right?
Whatever, exactly.
However much extra time there is. Yeah. It's going to be tough. So, I'm gonna come back to Messi. If they're able to win tonight, if Argentina and Messi beat Spain tonight, and I keep saying tonight, what time is the match? I think it's in the late afternoon, early evening, not exactly night, right?
I think it's 5, I believe.
Yeah.
Let me check.
But regardless, if they no, it's 3 p.m. Yeah, it's this afternoon, man.
Oh, it's right now, dude. It's the 12, the next hour. Wow, why did I think it was around 4 o'clock? I guess.
Yeah, no. So it's not. It's 3 p.m. It's 3 p.m. today.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. No, it's about 3.5 hours away. So.
Oh, Pacific time. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's right. 3 Eastern.
Yep. So regardless of how this, actually not regardless, if Messi, I guess I was going to say regardless of how it happens, but if Messi and Argentina are able to pull it off, they will become back-to-back champs. Do you know what the last time was when there was a back-to-back champion in World Cup?
Was it 66?
It was 58 and then 62.
Okay.
Do you know who that was?
Was it Brazil?
That was Brazil.
Was it?
Do you know who was the star for Brazil? Pele, the GOAT.
Yeah.
So it's really unfortunate that there's this type of, because what Messi fans are going to say, that this is what we were talking about a little while ago, right? The GOAT debate. I still think there's nothing. Shouldn't say nothing. There's not a whole lot that can happen in this World Cup that will give any actual real fuel to the discussion about supplanting Pele as the GOAT.
Right.
Because Pele,
unless Messi breaks a leg and scores like a hat trick on one leg, a la Willis Reed, I don't know, and they win the game in penalty kicks. That's his final kick. I don't know.
But even that. So what that would do is that would equal that would allow Messi to equal Pele for the back-to-back. But Pele also, remember, Pele came back in 1970 and won a third World Cup in 1970. Right. So 58, 62, and then 70. He won the third World Cup, which is unmatched. So the best Messi can do is win today and win the 2030 World Cup to actually match Pele for the 3 championships. Now, of course, that would give him a hat trick, 3 consecutive World Cups, which would be something that Pele didn't do. But even that, again, he would be, if that happens. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know if Messi plays more than a couple more years. I would be
Right.
surprised if he plays in the 2030 World Cup. Um, so the discussion of who is the GOAT, there's no discussion. There's no discussion. I'm hoping, as just a fan of a sport, I'm hoping for a good game. What I'm hoping more than, and I hate that this is what it's come to, I'm hoping for a cleanly called and officiated game. And as a fan, that's infuriating, because that's not what a fan should be hoping for. That should be the expectation,
I know.
right? That's not what you hope for. Like, that's not why I watch a sporting event. I watch a
Yeah.
sporting event to with the expectation that it's going to be fairly called, and it's going to be a level field. And then what's the old saying? What have we been saying all our lives, and even before our lives? The saying's been around: let the best team win. May the best team win. That's all we want as sports fans, right? That's all we want to see. May
Absolutely.
the best
Let me
team
ask you
win.
something. Do you think Messi is aware of some of these calls, or do you think he's influencing some of them? I know it's totally conjecture on our part, but if you go back and watch, like the Egypt game, for example, whenever like there was some of those calls, obviously he was right there advocating for a penalty or a yellow card or whatever. But
Yeah,
I'm just wondering if he's intimately involved with some of this. Obviously, that would take away from a lot of his shine, but he could not be oblivious to some of those calls that he's had, not just in this tournament, but even in past tournaments where he could have gotten a red and gotten kicked out when he did the open cleat tackle,
yeah.
and so on. So is he? Maybe,
Oh,
does that just come with superstardom that some of these calls go your way, even though you were wrong? I mean,
here's
I
the
just
thing. That's an excellent question, right? And I'll go back. I'll give examples. I can think of, um, actually, yeah, I'll give multiple examples. So there's Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was known to just constantly, I mean, more recently, Luka Doncic does this, right? But Tim Duncan was known to complain to the refs a lot for no calls where he felt that he should have gotten a call. For when he
yeah,
did get called for a foul, he would complain. He was just a complainer. He did constantly, incessantly complain. That was part of his game. Doesn't take away from his championships, does not take away for him being one of the greatest power forwards that the game has seen. He was just, because he was Mr. Consistency, right? 25 points, 12 rebounds. You can count on him. He's going to go in, shoot 50%, 28 points, 12 rebounds, a couple of blocks, right? Not flashy, but he was
yeah,
consistent, but he was a complainer. But there isn't any obvious and overt and loud proof-based, fact-based argument that he or his teams got consistently unfair calls, right? Did it influence? Of course it did. I think
right,
Tim Duncan did that. Going all the way back, Michael did that. Michael did that. Magic used to complain. Bird used to complain. And they did get preferential treatment once in a while. Once in a while, right? I have to believe, I have to believe that in his heart, like, as much as Michael complained, most of the time he would complain, but then he would come back with a thunderous dunk, a 10
hmm,
straight points, and that's
yeah,
how you get over it, right? But the moment, I have to believe in my heart, the moment Michael felt that his complaining to the refs got to the point of this unevenness, like unfairness, he would pull back. He would hold back. Kobe used to complain, right? I mean,
yeah,
most of that, as I'm going through my head, Um, it's so I said I was going to give multiple examples. The other example to me is uh, so football. Manning used to complain anytime he did not complete a pass. He would complain, right?
Mm.
But he didn't get the unfair calls. Now, who did get the unfair calls? Tom Brady. And Tom Brady was a complainer. Tom Brady complained incessantly. Incessantly. Go back and watch the tape. He would get tackled. He would immediately get up and ask the refs for a flag. Right? Didn't matter
Hmm.
where he was tackled. He if he got touched, he felt he needed to, and he did get those unfair calls. I
Yeah.
mean, that comeback, the comeback that they call against Atlanta, that doesn't
Oh, yeah.
happen. That does not happen against the Falcons without unfair calls because Atlanta was up 27-3.
Right.
And part of it, sure, maybe the refs thought, eh, they're they're up 24. It's not like making this call is going to allow them to come back and win. But if you do it once, if you do it 5 times, 8 times, 10 times, then yes, it can accumulate and it can allow them to come back. There were
Yeah.
holdings by the Patriots defense that didn't get called on Julio Jones multiple times in that third and fourth quarter, making what would have been a drive sustaining play into a drive ending 3 and out. That happened at least twice, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
Right? There were
Yes.
there were a bunch of calls like that allowed it, and that happened throughout Tom Brady's career. So he should have realized at some point, if he's a true competitor, he should have realized, hey, I am this star and I'm having an influence on the play calling by the refs. I need to
Right.
pull back and make this an even. So, coming all the way back to your question, at this point, unless Messi, like he all his only engagement with soccer is for those 3 hours on the field, and he
Mm.
consumes nothing else. He knows, and he should know that whether he wants to influence or not, he knows that it's influencing the calls. So he should pull back. He should say, hey, I'm not going to. I am a star, even if this is nefarious. It's just that a star is complaining, so the officials end up making that call, giving you that call, giving your team that call. If I'm a true competitor, I'm pulling back and I'm saying, whoa, I don't want my influence, the influence of my stardom, to actually have a negative impact on the sport and the match. And I'm going to
Right.
pull back and I'm not going to complain. You have to. I know it's easy
You would
for me
think
to
so.
say. I know it's easy for
Yeah.
me and you to say,
Right.
right?
Right.
In the moment, you want to win the game. But boy, to me, a win is meaningless, absolutely meaningless, if you achieved it through any unfair advantage. That's just because why am I saying unfair advantage? Because fair advantage is part of
Mm.
sport competition. Fair advantage, I can jump higher than somebody else based on my physical ability. I can shoot more accurately than somebody else based on my physical ability and my commitment to honing that skill, right? That's fair advantage. And the whole
Right.
point of athletic competition is to have fair advantage, to see who is better, to see what team can gel better, to see what individual can rise above everybody else, to see
Hmm.
who can play in that 94th minute where you can't feel your legs, but your team still needs something and you can rise above it and deliver that goal.
Hmm.
Absolutely. That's why we
Yeah.
watch the games. That's why we play. That's why we watch. That's why we invest our time and money into these things. But the moment, as a fair competitor, the moment you start to feel that your influence is resulting in unfair advantage, you owe it to yourself, to your team, to your maybe less to your team, but to yourself and to your sport. You owe it to yourself to pull back and say, hey, I'm not going to let my influence, my stardom, negatively impact a match or the sport. So
You're right.
yes, unless he's just completely unplugging, he has to know that. And
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting after this World Cup if some reporter asks him a question about, how do you think about the officiating? You think there's any validity to a lot of people around the world saying, hey, it almost seems like, you were given preferential treatment on a lot of calls. I don't think he's gonna say, agree with that. I have a feeling he's gonna say no every one of those calls, but we'll see.
What I would hope to hear in that situation from him is the officials make the calls and I play the game, right?
Right.
Because
Sure.
yes, as a competitor, he's never going to come out and say, yeah, they shouldn't have made that call.
Yeah,
Yes,
can't
I
see
should have
him
gotten a
saying
red
that.
card.
It's just devalue their win. Right?
Yeah, but I would expect from a true competitor to say, hey, officials officiate the game, I play the game. We play the game
Yeah.
with the officiating we get. You have a problem with the officiating, take it up with the league that controls the officiating.
Right.
Now, in a perfect world, I would like for him to say what I was saying my rant the last 10 minutes. I would like for him to come in and say, you know what? I've looked back, and yes, my stardom and my influence may have leaned the calls a certain way, and I will pull back and I will hold back, and I will in the future, I think I need to. Now, the reason I say that would be nice, but he probably won't do it because he's in a damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, right? Because if he comes out and says it, guess what? The first complaint from the haters is going to be, well, it's nice for him to say now, but why didn't he say it during the World Cup? He took advantage of it, but now he's saying it, so it's empty words.
Right.
And that's there's a level of accuracy to that. So he would be damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. So I think all he can say is, look, I play the game, officials officiate the game, take it up with them.
Right.
But if he tries to defend this, I'm done. Right? Because there's no defending what has happened with Argentina throughout this World Cup. There just isn't. There's no defense.
Right.
It's one thing, again, that fair play, fair officiating, right? There's humans involved. There's gonna be some lean in these, maybe 60% going one team's way versus 40% the other. It's gonna happen. But when it's 90-10, or sometimes I don't know if there was a call. I think Shep did a deep analysis, and he was saying there were 9 critical calls,
9-0,
and they all went their way. So when there's 100-0 lean, that's not fair. That's not fair.
Yeah.
That's just not fair. All right, we're at another break and end of our segment. So real quick, predictions. Who do you see winning and what score?
Well, it's going to be, unfortunately, Argentina winning, and it'll be 2-1.
All right.
And it'll be a controversial penalty.
Okay. There. I think it's going to be 1-0, and I think this actually goes into penalty kicks. I think it's going to go 0-0, 1-0 penalty kick. And we'll see. We'll see. The match is coming up. Manny,
who's going to win?
Spain. I think Spain pulls it off. I think they're going to set match. Yeah, but it's going to be a good, tight defensive struggle. All right, Manny, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you next Sunday.
This is Radio Azad, streaming in Dallas, Fort Worth, and all around the world.
आप सुन रहे हैं रेडियो आजाद, हम सफर